Y'all, I am a nervous wreck right now. I would much rather be rehearsing this on a recorded video. But after being awake all night and arguing with the Lord about this, He won. I felt in my spirit last night as I was not sleeping that I was supposed to do this Facebook Live thing. I think it keeps us raw, it keeps us vulnerable, and that's just where I am right now. So I want to share with you my story about the story. As I don't know how you don't know, but because I've just been so obnoxious on social media the last few months that I wrote a book. What led up to it was last summer, specifically July 7th. I was sitting here in my family room and I had a lot of idle time. And I know that sounds crazy to some of you who are just feel like you're just flying by the seat of your pants 24/7, but I've got some idle time, and that's not always healthy. I think that's when, you just start hearing all this crud in your head about you're not worthy, you don't have a purpose, you don't have a meaning in life. And so, I just said, what, Lord, I need you to fill my idle time. Give me something that gives me a purpose. And He's like, all right, we can do that. I felt like He was leading me to go online and just look up some work at home jobs, things I can do at home. Not necessarily for money, maybe just even a hobby. So I was directed to this website that had 99 work at home jobs listed, and they were alphabetical, and the very last one, number 99, was writing. I was like, well, yeah, I can write. I know how to form a sentence. I think I do. I think I know how to form a sentence. I certainly don't know how to do math, so it must be words that I can do. And I was like, yeah, I could do that, but I didn't know really what to write about. I was like, well, I know how to exercise, I know how to teach about nutrition, but those are how-to books. I don't even like reading how-to books. Why would I want to write a how-to book? And I felt like God was saying, well, it doesn't have to be a how-to book. What do you like to read, honey? And I was like, well, that's easy. I mean, every night when I go to bed, I'm reading a book, a fiction, novel, women's Christian novels. And He's like, well, why don't you just write a novel? And I was like, because I don't know what to write about. I don't have a story. He's like, yes, you do. And right then, y'all, it was just one of those amazing things where God just said, here you go. Here's a story for you. And He filled my imagination with these scenes and these characters. And by that night, I knew what the characters looked like. I knew their names. I knew how old they were, their families, their struggles, their triumphs in life, just everything about them. For the most part, I learned a lot about them while I was writing the book too. And what was so funny is it came so easily. So if some of you are like, oh, I'm so glad you were obedient to the Lord. It wasn't about obedience. It was like He handed me this gift that I asked Him to give me. Of course I'm going to open the gift. Who wouldn't want to open a gift? I've been so blessed by opening that gift. Ooh, going to get a little choked up here. I'm so glad I opened the gift. So from July 7th until right before Thanksgiving, every time I laid my hands on the keyboard, He gave me the story. It was funny because if I stayed awake at night trying to figure out, I wonder what I'm going to write today. This is what I'm going to write. And by the time I got my hands on the laptop, He's like, oh, no, this is my story. I will write this story. So I get no credit. My name is on the book, but I get no credit for this. All honor and glory go to Him. And that's why I want to keep talking about this, is because it's touching people's hearts. Yeah, the people that have read it so far are my friends, so maybe they're just being nice. But gosh, they're saying some really nice things, and I want to share them with you. I can't even see what I wrote because my eyes are so bleary. Somebody said this book gives you all the feels and will leave you feeling spiritually uplifted. It has unique characters. It shows the gifts of authentic relationships, enduring faith, and contagious joy. One of my friends said, my friend Tanya shared what God put into her mind and heart and wrote an amazing book. I'm so glad the words Book 1 are written on the cover of Ivory Shores because I want to know what is going to happen next. Women on life's journey live on the pages that Tanya wrote. I wonder if you feel like I do and see a piece of each woman in yourself. And then my younger daughter wrote, y'all, my mama wrote a book and it's so good. There's so many other ones on here. One of the last ones says, you'll laugh, you'll cry, and you'll want to plan your own girls' trip to the beach. So those are just a few of the things that some of my friends that I paid a lot of money to say about the book said. Just kidding, it was free. So that's how the story came to life, and that's so far how it's touching women's lives. I know a couple of guys have read the book. One of them is my dad, and he might be a little bit biased, and he was so funny. My sweet 80-year-old dad, he's like, you know, honey, there's an awful lot of conversation in there. It's kind of like a chick flick. I'm like, well, Dad, when 6 women get together, that's what they do. They talk. There's a lot of dialogue. But the characters have so much real, authentic history. And I think that every woman will relate. And if you're a guy, you can read it too. It's fine. You'll maybe understand women a little bit better. So anyway, here's the book. It's called Ivory Shores Book 1. And there are 6 characters. The first one is Camille. No, I'm going to tell you about Susanna first. She's kind of the ringleader of the group. She might be a little bit of me, although I think I'm in a little bit of all the characters. Susanna is the one that plans the trip to the beach. She's the one that knows all the women going. There's 6 of them. But the other women don't really know each other. A couple of them have met here and there, but Susanna's the ringleader. Susanna also has 3 little kids, and she also has a mother that just moved in with her who has early onset Alzheimer's. So she's dealing with that. So she's kind of stressed about going on this trip and leaving all that at home to get taken care of. But she does, and she's glad she does. One of her friends that she has invited is Camille. Camille is a women's ministry leader. She stands on the stages all across the country and speaks the truth to women of all ages, all walks of faith. And Camille has a medical condition that is eventually going to take her life. But nobody knows that. And so just the struggle of her going on this trip and knowing that it's probably her last trip to do something like this. And just the struggle that she goes through in not wanting to tell the other women, and just the things that happen through that story. One of the other women is Tori. Tori turns 40 years old on this trip, and she's the fun one. She's the one that cuts up and can make fun of herself, and she's really the comedic relief in the whole book, and she's really one of my favorite characters. Then there's Erin. Erin has been married for about 5 years, and she's been trying to have a baby, and she's had 3 miscarriages so far. So you can probably at least imagine the struggle that she's going through just trying to start a family and everything that comes with that. And then there's Mary. Mary is the older woman of the group. She's 64. She is a brand new widow, and she is the wise lady on the trip, and the one that everybody wants to call her the second mom. And she's precious. She loves to be in the kitchen, and you just kind of fall in love with that character. And the final character is Rose. I wouldn't call Rose the antagonist. I would call Rose the insecure one. I mean, all women are insecure in some ways, but Rose has had a really hard life, and my goodness, she is really upset that Camille is going on this trip. She does a lot of comparing herself to Camille, and so that's kind of fun to watch that relationship develop while they're stuck on this beach trip together. So, but these characters are just so real. I just love them all so much, and I hope that you will love them too. I've sold 170 books so far to people I know. And I want to get it out to people that I don't know as well. So if you haven't gotten your copy, or if you started reading, please feel free to share it with other people and let them know about it. The book is on sale through thebookpatch.com, through Wednesday. It's a spring break special. And right now they're $12 instead of the regular $15. Or you can get them directly from me, and they're $15, but if you want me to mail it, it's $20. So you can send me a private message if you want to get more information about purchasing the book. I have rambled long enough. I have survived this Facebook Live video, so that's good. So thank y'all for hanging out with me, and if you have any questions about the book or if you just want to talk or whatever, I'm here. Love to you all. Thank you so much for listening.